All right, so let's dive into a case that's really captivated a lot of people.
Yeah.
The disappearance of Maura Murray.
Mm.
It's been almost 20 years since she vanished back in 2004.
I know, it's crazy.
And people are still just trying to figure out what happened.
Absolutely.
You guys requested a deep dive into this.
Yes,
And we'll be using the Wikipedia article on her case as our main source.
that's right.
And it's interesting because it happened
Yeah.
before the days of widespread social media and all that online sleuthing.
Right.
But it's generated just as much discussion and intrigue as any case today.
I think even more so.
Yeah, and maybe even more than some of these cases with all the modern tech we have today.
Yeah, you would think that would be the thing that would make a case.
Right.
So
Yeah.
interesting and mysterious.
Yeah.
But this one just has so many little twists and turns.
Yeah, and it all started with something that seemed pretty ordinary, right? A car accident.
Right.
But then it quickly spiraled into this maze of unanswered questions.
A total mystery.
So our mission here is to kind of walk through the known facts,
Yes.
examine the timeline, and see if we can understand what we know.
Yeah.
And more importantly, what we still don't.
Exactly. And it's really the what we don't know
Yep.
that keeps people coming back for more
Yeah.
to this case.
So let's start with Maura's background.
Okay.
Born in 1982, she grew up in Massachusetts, was a star athlete, even attended West Point for a while.
Wow, West Point.
I know.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's quite a contrast to ending up at UMass Amherst studying nursing, right?
It is such a contrast. I mean, you think about West Point, it's all about structure and discipline.
Yeah.
And then nursing, it's often seen as more about compassion and caring.
Right.
So makes you wonder what kind of internal shift or change in goals might have been happening for her.
Yeah, it really does make you think.
It does.
And then there's this incident in late 2003 where she's caught using a stolen credit card.
Oh, wow.
Now, the charges were going to be dropped after she completed some good behavior requirements, but it definitely suggests there might have been something more going on in her life.
Yeah, some hidden stressors, right?
Yeah.
Was it a one-time thing or was there something bigger at play?
Right.
Financial pressure maybe or something else entirely?
Yeah. And so then things get really interesting in the weekend leading up to her disappearance.
Okay.
On February 5th, she has this super emotional phone call with her sister, Kathleen,
Oh, wow.
even breaking down at work afterward.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And for years, nobody knew what they talked about.
Oh, really?
It wasn't until 2017 that Kathleen revealed the content of that call.
Okay.
It turned out Kathleen, who struggled with alcoholism, had relapsed after leaving rehab.
Oh, no.
And to make matters worse, her fiancé on their way home stopped at a liquor store.
Oh, gosh. Not exactly the most supportive move.
No, not at all.
So on top of everything else, Maura's dealing with her sister's relapse.
Right.
And probably feeling a lot of responsibility or helplessness.
Mm-hmm.
That's a heavy burden to carry.
Absolutely. And then the very next day, her dad, Fred, comes to visit.
Okay.
They go car shopping, have dinner. Things seem pretty normal on the surface.
Okay.
Hold on, car shopping.
Yeah.
Was this related to the accident she had a few months earlier with the stolen credit card?
Oh, that's a good question.
Did she need a new car?
I don't know. The sources don't really say.
Yeah, they don't explicitly connect those two events.
Okay.
But it's definitely something to think about.
For sure.
So anyway, she crashes her dad's car,
Oh,
causing almost $10,000 worth of damage.
wow.
And there's no mention of a sobriety test in the police report,
Really?
which is odd,
It is strange. You'd think that would be standard procedure after an accident like that.
especially given the circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
And just to make things even more mysterious,
yeah.
there's a call from Fred's phone to Maura's boyfriend at 4:49 a.m. that Sunday.
Okay.
And you guessed it. The
Mhm.
content of that call is unknown too.
Wow. So many unknowns.
So in a very short time frame, we have a string of potentially stressful events.
Yeah.
The sisters relapse the car accident and these two phone calls with unknown content.
Right. And all this is before she even disappears.
Exactly.
It really makes you wonder if these events were somehow all connected.
Yeah,
Were they building up to something?
right.
Did they contribute to her disappearance?
Let's move on to Monday, February 9th, the day Maura vanishes.
Okay.
She starts the day by using MapQuest.
MapQuest. Wow. Taking it back.
I know, right? To search for directions to the Berkshires in Burlington, Vermont.
Interesting. So she was considering a couple of different destinations.
Yeah, was she weighing different destinations, or did she have a specific place in mind?
Right.
And here's the thing, she hadn't told anyone about these searches or any travel plans at all.
Oh, wow. So she was keeping it to herself.
At 1 p.m., she emails her boyfriend saying she didn't feel like talking much.
Maybe withdrawing, wanting to be alone?
Yeah, does that fit with the potential stress she might have been under?
Yeah, it seems like it could.
Then she calls a condo association in Bartlett, New Hampshire,
Okay.
a place her family had vacationed before, asking about a rental.
Interesting. So maybe she was looking for a familiar, comforting place.
But the owner didn't rent to her.
Oh, really? Any idea why?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Around 1:30 p.m., she emails her work supervisor and professors,
Okay.
telling them she's out of town because of a death in the family.
Oh, wow.
But this was a lie. No one in her family had died.
Okay, so now she's actively deceiving people.
Right.
That definitely suggests something's not right.
Yeah.
What was her motive for this lie?
Right.
Was she trying to buy time, throw people off her trail?
And just to add another layer of mystery,
Yeah.
a few minutes later, she calls a number for hotel bookings in Stowe, Vermont.
Huh. So multiple destinations. Again, it's like she was either undecided
Right.
or deliberately trying to create confusion.
Yeah. At 2:20 p.m., she calls her boyfriend again,
Okay.
this time leaving a short voicemail saying they'll talk later.
Okay.
Now, here's where things get really interesting. Okay.
She packs her car with clothes, toiletries, textbooks, birth control pills, almost like she's going on a trip.
Right?
But when police searched her dorm later, they found most of her belongings packed in boxes,
Really?
as if she was moving out.
That's a curious detail. It's like she's preparing for both a short trip and a longer absence.
Right.
Was she genuinely unsure about what she was doing, or was this a deliberate attempt to mislead?
We just don't know.
Wow.
At 3:30 p.m., she drives off campus, and remember, classes had been canceled that day due to a snowstorm.
Oh, right.
So it wasn't like she was skipping class or anything.
So she's choosing to leave during a snowstorm.
Yeah,
Potentially making travel more difficult and dangerous.
right.
This adds another layer of mystery to her actions.
For sure then, at 3:40 p.m., she withdraws $280 from an ATM.
Oh.
And guess what?
What?
Security cameras catch her buying about $40 worth of alcohol,
Okay.
Bailey's Kahlua vodka, and a box of Franzia wine.
Okay, so we've got cash, we've got alcohol.
Yeah.
What's missing?
Yeah.
Destination. Right. We still don't know where she's actually headed.
Exactly.
The only clue we have is that she picked up those accident report forms for her dad's car.
Oh, right.
Sometime between 4 and 5 p.m., she leaves Amherst.
Okay.
Her last cell phone use is recorded at 4:37 p.m.,
And then
she vanishes.
this is where things take a dramatic turn, right?
Mhm.
We go from seemingly normal, everyday activities
Yeah.
to a full-blown missing person case.
It all hinges on what happens next. The accident on Route 112.
Okay, let's hear it. So picture this.
Hmm?
It's a snowy Monday evening
Okay.
in rural New Hampshire around 7 p.m.
Okay.
And a woman hears this loud thump outside her house
Oh, no.
on Route 112.
Not exactly the kind of sound you want to hear on a quiet night.
No, not at all.
Right.
So she looks out and sees a car smashed into a snowbank.
Oh, wow.
The car's facing the wrong way.
Oh, jeez.
And looks like it's been in a pretty bad accident.
This is Maura's car, right?
It is.
Okay.
Now here's where things get even stranger.
Okay.
A school bus driver who lives nearby
Huh.
also sees the car
Yeah.
and stops to check on the driver.
Okay.
He sees a young woman walking around the car.
Okay.
Maura.
Mm-hmm.
She's not visibly injured,
Okay.
but she's cold and shivering.
Oh, gosh.
So the bus driver offers to call for help.
You'd think she'd be grateful for the offer, especially after a crash like that.
You would think, right.
Yeah.
But she refuses his help
Oh, wow.
and tells him she's already called AAA.
But she hadn't actually called AAA, had she?
Nope. And remember,
Yeah.
cell phone reception was spotty in that area at the time.
Right.
So it's unlikely she could have called anyone.
Okay, so we've got a young woman who's just been in an accident,
Right.
refusing help,
Yeah.
and potentially lying about calling for assistance. What's going on here?
That's the million-dollar question.
I know.
So the bus driver, knowing there's no cell service,
Right.
goes home and calls the police himself.
Okay.
His call comes in at 7:43 p.m. Now, another local resident claims to have seen a police SUV at the scene
Oh, really?
around 7:37 p.m.
So before the bus driver even called?
Yeah, but didn't see anyone inside either vehicle.
Okay.
So it's possible.
So there might have been a police officer there even before the bus driver called?
Potentially, yes.
Wow.
but it contradicts the official police log,
Oh, okay.
which places the first officer's arrival at 7:46 p.m.
So right off the bat, we have conflicting accounts of what happened.
Exactly, and it only gets more complicated from here.
Oh, no.
When the officer arrives at 7:46 p.m.,
Okay.
just 19 minutes after the initial accident report,
Yeah.
Maura is gone,
Gone. Just like that.
vanished.
Wow.
The car is there with significant damage.
Okay.
The left headlight is smashed, the radiator is pushed on the windshield, is cracked, and both airbags have deployed.
Okay. So she definitely didn't just walk away from this accident unharmed.
Right, but here's the thing. There's no sign of a struggle,
Okay.
and no indication that anyone else was at the scene.
So what did they find in the car?
Inside, the officer finds evidence of drinking,
Oh.
an empty wine box, and a beer bottle.
Oh, yeah, the Frenzia wine.
Exactly.
Okay.
He also finds her AAA card,
Mm-hmm.
blank accident report forms, gloves, CDs, makeup jewelry, driving directions to Burlington, Vermont,
Wow.
her favorite stuffed animal, and a book about mountain climbing in the White Mountains.
A book about mountain climbing? That seems like a random thing to have in the car.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And here's what's not found. Her debit card,
Okay.
credit cards, and cell phone.
And those have never been located
Never.
or used since her disappearance.
Nope.
So she's gone along with some of the alcohol she purchased, her phone, and her cards.
Right.
What was the initial response from the authorities?
Initially, they treat her as a missing person,
Okay.
speculating that she might have run away
Mm,
or even attempted suicide.
okay.
They based this on the fact that she'd made travel preparations without telling anyone,
Right.
and that there was no obvious sign of foul play at the scene.
But her family didn't buy that, did they?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
They insisted that Maura wouldn't just disappear like that,
Right.
especially not without contacting them.
So what happens next in the investigation?
So the next day, a be on the lookout alert is issued,
Okay.
describing what Maura was last seen wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where those alerts are so crucial in missing person cases, right?
Right.
They get the information out quickly
Yeah.
and can help generate leads from the public.
Yeah, for sure.
Then her boyfriend claims he received a voicemail.
Oh, really?
That sounded like Maura sobbing.
Oh.
But the call was traced back to a calling card
Okay.
issued to the American Red Cross.
Oh, that's pretty creepy.
It is right.
Yeah.
What about the search efforts?
Yeah.
Did they find anything?
Did they?
Not much.
Oh, geez.
Despite several ground and air searches,
Yeah.
including the use of cadaver dogs, very little was found.
Wow.
Her older sister did find a pair of women's underwear in the woods, but DNA testing revealed they didn't belong to Maura.
Another dead end.
It seems that way.
Okay, so we've got a lot of dead ends. Did the police have any theories about what might have happened?
They initially suggested that Maura might have been headed to the Cancomagus Highway area
Okay.
and was possibly suicidal,
Okay.
but that was based on very little evidence.
Right.
And Maura's family strongly disputed it.
Of course.
They also initially dismissed any connection to the
Mhm.
disappearance of Brianna Maitland,
Okay.
another young woman who vanished in Vermont just a few weeks later.
So we've got a missing person case, no strong leads,
Yeah.
a grieving family who doesn't believe the official story,
Hmm.
and a whole lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah.
This is starting to feel like one of those mysteries that will never be solved.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
The story doesn't end there.
Okay.
In fact, there are a few more twists and turns
Okay.
that make this case even more perplexing.
Okay, you've got my attention. What else happened? So you were saying there are more twists and turns to this story.
Oh, yeah. In 2004,
Okay.
Maura's father, Fred, received a strange tip.
Oh, really?
A man gave him a rusty stained knife, claiming it belonged to his brother.
Wait, a rusty knife?
Yeah.
That's seriously creepy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And it gets even creepier.
Okay.
The man claimed his brother lived near the crash site and had acted suspiciously after Maura's disappearance. He even told Fred
Yeah.
that he believed the knife had been used to kill Maura.
Oh, my God.
And to top it off,
Yeah.
shortly after giving Fred the knife,
Okay.
the brother allegedly scrapped his Volvo.
Wow, that sounds straight out of a true crime documentary. Did the
Oh.
police look into this?
They did, but family members of the man who turned in the knife said he had made up the story for reward money.
Really?
Yeah, and had a history of drug use.
So another dead end.
It seems that way.
Okay.
But then in 2006,
Okay.
cadaver dogs allegedly reacted strongly to a spot in the closet
Okay.
of an A-frame house not far from where Maura's car was found.
Oh, wow. Is this the same house where the guy with the rusty knife lived?
The very same.
Wow.
A carpet sample was even sent to the state police.
Okay.
But the results were never made public.
Okay, so we've got a suspicious person,
Yeah.
a rusty knife,
Mhm.
and cadaver dogs reacting to his former home.
Right.
Did they ever actually search the house?
It took a while.
Yeah.
But in 2019, after the house was sold,
Okay.
the new owners allowed a search,
Okay.
including an excavation of the basement.
So what happened?
Oh.
Did they find anything?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Wow.
Except for what appeared to be
Okay.
an old piece of pottery or piping.
More frustration, more unanswered questions.
Yep.
Were there any other significant developments in the investigation?
There were a few.
Okay.
In 2021,
Okay.
bone fragments were found on Loon Mountain,
Okay.
a place Maura was known to have visited.
That sounds promising. Could this have been a breakthrough?
Unfortunately, not DNA testing showed that the remains weren't hers.
Oh.
Then in 2022, the FBI issued a national alert on Maura's case
Okay.
and created a profile in their violent criminal apprehension program,
Mm-hmm.
hoping to generate new leads.
So even after all this time, they're still actively investigating.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really shows how much this case continues to fascinate people
Right.
and the determination of those who won't give up hope of finding answers.
So what does this all mean?
Oh.
Where does it leave us?
Maura's disappearance is still a puzzle
Right.
with a lot of pieces,
Mm-hmm.
but no clear picture.
It's a case that highlights how limited information can be
Yeah.
and the power of speculation.
Hmm.
Even before social media, there was a lot of information available,
Right.
but it wasn't always shared or analyzed effectively.
Right.
Today, with the internet and social media, information spreads like wildfire,
Oh, yeah.
but it's also easily distorted,
Absolutely.
leading to countless theories and rabbit holes.
So true.
It's almost like having more information doesn't always give you more clarity.
Exactly. And in Maura's case,
Yeah.
the lack of clear-cut answers
Mm-hmm.
keeps the speculation and intrigue alive.
So what stands out to you in all of this?
Mm.
What details are the most important or the most puzzling?
Well, one
I have
thing...
you listening.
Yeah.
What catches your attention?
Yeah, what do you think?
Maura's case is far from solved.
Yeah.
Maybe with a fresh perspective and a careful look at the details,
Right.
we can uncover something that's been overlooked all these years.
It's possible.
One thing that keeps coming back to me is the question of choice.
Okay.
If Maura did decide to leave on her own,
Mhm.
and that's a big if,
Yeah. No.
where could she have gone?
Right.
And why choose to remain silent for so long?
It's a good question.
What could have motivated such a drastic decision?
Yeah,
It's a question that continues to haunt those who follow this case.
it really does.
A question that lingers even after all these years.
Yeah,
This deep dive has been fascinating,
it has.
but I have a feeling it's only fueled more questions for you.
Definitely for me and for everyone listening, I'm sure.
Thanks for joining us on this exploration into the mystery of Maura Murray's disappearance.